I don't think we're going to get off. Probably going to spend the day on board, exploring the ship. Day 4, we are in Jamaica, specifically Ocho Rios. We've been here a few times, so we decided to stay on the ship. And as you can see, we pretty much have the Haven pool deck all to ourselves. So this part is on deck 16. This infinity pool is probably one of the coolest things we've ever seen on a cruise ship. Quick tip though, they only fill the pool on port days all the way to the top. On sea days, I think it only goes up to about 3 feet. But it really creates amazing views. The pool is heated, so even though it's a little bit cooler today, with we got a little bit of rain and some cloud cover, it's still very nice to be in here. I don't think we're going to get off. Probably going to spend the day on board, exploring the ship. Deck 17 the Norwegian Prima Haven. So the Haven's between 2 levels, or the Sundeck is on 2 levels. 16 is the pool deck where we just were. And then right above it is deck 17, where there's 2 hot tubs, this one and that one, and a whole other Sundeck. So there's plenty of room for everybody staying in the suites to hang out in the sun. One of the best cruise hacks out there is on port days in places that maybe you've already seen, or maybe places that you don't have any interest in seeing, is to stay on board, because a lot of people get off the ship, they have excursions, or maybe it's a place that they haven't seen yet, and you pretty much get the whole ship to yourself. So there are apparently about 3,100 people on board, and there's basically nobody up here except for Jen and I. So we've got an entire deck of a mega cruise ship all to ourselves. Mind you, it is the Haven, so it's naturally a little bit quieter, but we were walking around earlier this morning, and it was pretty much the same thing everywhere we went. There was definitely a few people who were staying on, because probably the same thing as us. They've either been to Jamaica before, or they don't have an excursion planned, or it might not be their most favorite place to go, or someplace they want to check out, so they stay on board. So if you're here for a week, or if you're on a cruise ship for a week, don't feel pressured to go out and check out every port. Sometimes it is nice to kind of hang back, have the whole ship to yourself, or a more private experience. There's obviously not as many lines. The restaurants aren't going to have as many people there. The attractions won't have as many people there. So it's definitely a lot easier to get around. Or if you're filming video, you don't have to worry about crowds. Anyways, we're going to stay up here for a little bit more. Enjoy these hot tubs. We might check out the water slides later, not too sure. But so far, day 4 has been great, very relaxing. Checked out the buffet for breakfast. Typical buffet breakfast, but the buffet on this ship is way smaller than on other Norwegian ships we've been on, about 1/4 the size. Not too sure what our lunch plans are going to be just yet. We have Los Lobos planned for dinner, the Mexican, Mexican Latin restaurant. Uh, for what?
Guacamole.
For guacamole. Jen is excited for guacamole. They make the guacamole at the table. Jen also won a duck this morning in a claw machine. Another thing we found out today too is when the crew does their emergency drill and they close the watertight doors. If there's a watertight door near you, you could get locked in a room for a few minutes. So I guess plan to be not around a watertight door. Not too sure what Alicia and Gally are doing right now. Probably hanging out on the balcony or having some stateroom lovin's. Some lovin's. But anyways, our first 4 days have been pretty uneventful, pretty relaxing. But so far so good. No complaints.
Adverse weather with strong gale force winds and rough seas expected today in Georgetown, Cayman Islands, making tender operations unsafe, we have canceled the scheduled visit. An extra day at sea means you'll have a little more time to discover even more of what Norwegian Prima has to offer.